Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tuesday night as organ music night. Something very new tonight, and yes, it's my birthday today, which means I'm a year older, and I'm not just a year older, I'm 50. Oh my God, I am so old. It's frightening. I was talking to so many people today, and a few of them said, "You're 50? I thought you were older." That was nice. A number of people did then, of course, say, 50? That can't be true. You're much younger than that. Ha ha ha. And then my sister, my darling little sister, by the way, on that picture, Vanessa, can you show the picture again, please? Unser Bild. Hold on, we've got to quickly. Yeah, is everyone up there? There you are, on our little picture there. Now, on the left, that's one of the earliest pictures of me in an upright position. All photos before that, I think, were lying down. Apparently, I was quite a little Winston Churchill when I was a baby. Ask my mum, she'll tell you. The one in the middle, that's me on, you can't really see it, but that's me on my first vehicle. That's my little ride-along tractor that I had out in front of our old house by the looks of it. So a very, very long time ago. And then on the right, that is little me with my even littler sister. And yes, I thought I would embarrass my sister by including her and her wonderful dress. Isn't it amazing? Having said that, my attire is not much better. Tartan shorts. Check the collar on the shirt. It's frightening. And then a tie. You know, it's fine. Little boys shouldn't be wearing ties, but yes, in those days we were. So anyway, yes, so there's a couple of pictures from my past. And this evening we're going to have a lovely concert together. Thank you very much for joining us. I know it's a Tuesday, and for some of you in the Western Hemisphere or the Western part of the world, it's still a working day for you. So cheers. Thank you so much for joining us. You're all wonderful. And for those of you here in European parts, it's a late night affair as usual. So most of you will be out early working tomorrow. So thank you all so much for joining us. We're very, very happy indeed. Vanessa will be up and down as usual. Vanessa will not be joining us on the microphones tonight. Look, a new microphone. Yes, we are unveiling some new equipment over the next couple of weeks. And tonight we're starting with the new microphone system. We have moved away from the wireless Rode, R-O-D-E, Australian microphones because they were proving less and less reliable. And we now have the DJI microphone system. And this is good because it comes with two microphones, which means I can have one, Vanessa can have one, and they are both being transferred into the camera so we can speak to you. Isn't that exciting? So there you are. So I hope the sound is much better. By the looks of it, it's quite high, so that's good. So that should go along with the organ. Now, not only is the microphone new tonight, yes, someone already noticed it, Marek, I think. It's a new organ as well. And this magnificent organ here, I wonder will anyone recognize it if I show you a picture of the console. This was also a birthday present from a very generous Gartshore Gang member. Yes, this is the legendary Sonnenorgel in Görlitz, which is over on the very, very eastern border of Germany, between Germany and Poland. And this is an amazing instrument. It's a 4-manual 87 stop, that's not ranks, 87 stop magnificent instrument. It's a sample set from Sonus Paradisi. And like I say, it was a very, very, very generous gift from one of the Gartshore Gang members. So thank you very, very much indeed for that. You know who you are. Now, I only received it yesterday. It arrived in the post. It was sent on a USB stick. Arrived in the post, so I could only install it yesterday. I've only had a chance to play around with it a little bit. But as you can hear already, it sounds absolutely amazing. And actually, yes, the sounds of this organ are quite amazing. There's not much I'm going to tell you about it tonight because I don't really know it that well yet. There will be a video coming soon where I will introduce you to the organ completely. It's rather exciting, but it comes with all sorts of things. It comes with 3 different Celeste sounds. Up here, those lovely undulating sort of stringy sounds. And they can be, you can have soft, or you can have slightly sharper. which is nice. Or I suppose you could have both, why not? Yeah, kind of cool. That's it. On this manual, you have something, this stop here, an onda maris. That's an actual original stop from the original Baroque organ. Oh my God, listen to that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Ah. And that's a wonderful stop. That can be mixed with the flute as well. Or various other things. And even down on the great manual, there is a celeste as well, which is amazing. And here it is with the viola da gamba. The celeste itself is called the fifaro, which sounds wonderful. Isn't that lovely? Whew. So it makes you want to play sort of Messiaen style harmonies. Now you can link all of them together as well, which gives you this amazing sound. Now this is one of the most beautiful sounds of the world. Listen to this. And of course, down on the pedal is an enormous 32-foot stop which grumbles away under this. Listen to this. It's amazing. But then, of course, there's full organ, which is just bananas. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? It's an amazing instrument, and I'm going to love finding out all of the things it can do. I've only set up a couple of registrations for tonight's concert to play around with it, as there's so much to get to know and learn. But some of the exciting things are also good for jazzy stuff. Now, going back, we're going to sort of have a few anecdotes from throughout my life tonight as well. 50 years of me on the planet, my goodness me, it's amazing. So we're going to be having a chat about, how I arrived here and, all those, mainly a musical chat. I'm not going to go into private life or anything like that, good heavens, no. But never mind. And yes, of course, a lot of it is jazz music. I was introduced to jazz music at a very early age by my great uncle George. And Uncle George was a phenomenal musician himself, wonderful accordion player, and in my mind, an even better jazz piano player. And he introduced me to the world of things like Fats Waller and Art Tatum and all those kinds of guys. He was amazing, amazing player. And we had a piano at home. We got a piano at home. And Uncle George sort of said, yes, get Fraser some proper lessons. But he himself taught me some of the jazzy stuff as well. He introduced me to a lot of jazz music. He gave us some old records. Yes, I am that old. And we had a lot of jazz music in the house most of the time. So I was not into pop music growing up. I was always into this much older music. Now this organ is amazing. It can do the most amazing jazzy things in the style of Fats Waller. Listen to this. it's going to be an amazing instrument, this one. This is definitely going to become one of my favorites. Just quite simply because it can do it. Actually, let's leave those for a minute. It can do it all. It really can. There's so many wonderful things on here. There's this thing called a Krummhorn, which is a nice snappy buzzy little thing. There's also a snappy buzzy thing up here. It should be an oboe. It's not really an oboe as such, is it? It's not really. Now down here we've got trumpets and things, which we also have here, which we also have here. But there are lots of other fun things that go along with those. For example, if I get rid of that, we have some. Wow, some pretty cool effects there. And there's a very clever effect down on this manual, the second manual, which is the Oberwerk, the upper work. This is the great on the bottom. Then there's an Oberwerk, then the swell, and then a Brustwerk, which means breast work. Anyway, no, it means it's sort of right in front of your face if you're the player. So anyway, but there's a rather clever thing on here. Listen to this. This is clever. Now listen to this. It sounds like it's just 8 and 4. Okay? Now if I add this stop, it sounds like it's now 16, 8 and 4. Sounds like there's something an octave lower, like that. But there's not. It's clever. It's a clever use of harmonics. It's like a cornet on its own, but it's a 16-foot cornet. Isn't that kind of cool? It's a weird sounding thing, but it does some crazy things. Isn't that good? Anyway, like I say, this organ is going to be a new favorite, and we're going to be playing around with it rather a lot over the next little while. Oh, thank you very much, everybody. I see a lot of people are digging in and buying some birthday donations and birthday gifts and birthday goodies. I see Mike King is always very, very open about how much he donates to us. Thank you, Mike, for donating, and thank you, Mike, for telling everyone how much you donated. Now, I beg your pardon? Sonnenorgel. Die Sonnenorgel, genau. Aus Görlitz. Yep. Okay. Sorry, Vanessa's downstairs doing things with the dog. Not what you're thinking. I shouldn't tell you, but the dog had to have a little operation, so we're keeping an eye on him. But he's okay. He's doing fine. He's doing fine. Right. Let's get back to this slushy stuff. Now, I started playing the piano at a very early age. And I then, at some point, I'm not sure exactly why, but my dad one night took me to an event in the Caledonian Hotel in Inverness, which was a hotel right in the centre of town. I actually worked there for a while when I was young. There was an event, and it was demonstrating Yamaha Electone organs. And there was a young guy. Now, if you're into your old Electone organs, I know Rasbaz and Cassie are. You're into those old electric organs. And a guy, what was his name? Glyn Madden, that's right. A guy called Glyn Madden, obviously from Wales with a name like that. Glyn, oh, thank you, Jürgen. Jürgen is going on the PayPal trip here and giving us some birthday presents. Thank you, Jürgen, very kind. And by the way, yes, sometimes I can see these messages coming up. So if you are interested in buying virtual birthday presents this evening, thank you so much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Another one, Mukade Tenno, and now Xinghua Shangsheng, or however you pronounce that. I'm not very good at Chinese pronunciations. And I'm guessing he's not, because he's actually from very near here. He's not from China. So anyway, never mind. Where was I? Glyn Madden, that's right. Is Glyn Madden still around? I wonder what he's doing. And anyway, I was a very young boy, and my dad took me to this thing, and Glyn was playing these wonderful Yamaha Electone organs. And we decided to buy one. So at home, we had this Yamaha Electone organ. I'm not sure which model it was. I honestly can't remember. It was wonderful, though. And, oh my goodness, thank you. Jeremiah Martin. That's very generous. Thank you very much, Jeremiah Martin. Good heavens. Oh, I'm going to have one of these, what's his name again? Ken Dodd. Oh, I'm going to have one of those camp fits in a minute. Thank you very much. Very kind. My goodness me. So our Yamaha electrode organ, it arrived at home and I would try to sort of play things on it. And Dad would try to play things on it as well. It was great fun. And that's what got me going on organs. And at some point, maybe my mum will remember exactly when. I can't remember when. I must have been, how old would I have been? 13, 14 maybe even earlier. I can't remember. We decided that it was probably a good idea if I got some proper organ lessons. So I was shipped off to the local cathedral, Inverness Cathedral, an Anglican cathedral, Episcopal cathedral. And the then organist, Mr. Russell Grant, not related to the what was his name, clairvoyant Russell Grant, nothing to do with him, but the organist there, Russell Grant, was happy to take me under his wing and taught me to play the organ properly. And I remember my first organ lesson there, we just sort of sat at the organ, he said, all right, play me something. And I didn't know what to do, so he pulled out some stops and said, just play something on this manual, and pointed at, I can't remember, probably the great. It was a 3-manual organ. It was an old Hill, Norman and Beard wreck, falling apart. And I think I played Scott Joplin, as far as I remember. I played something by Joplin. And he thought this was hilarious, but he pulled stops and let me play it through to the end. We had great fun, and he said, right, fine, you can play the organ. You need to learn this, and so on and so on. Thank you for your, thank you. There are some gifts coming in. Thank you very much. That's from Sjord, and there was another one that came in I didn't see in time. Sorry, I do apologize. So thank you in advance. Anyway, so and Russell taught me the basics, and we did things like we looked at hymn tunes, we looked at very simple Bach stuff, the not listening to the headphones. This kind of stuff, the simple stuff. How does it go? Something like that. I can't hear because I don't have my headphones on. I can't hear what I'm doing. Anyway, and we learned all those kinds of things. And over time, we graduated and got bigger and better and more complicated. And Russell and I hit it off like Putin and Zelensky. There you are. That's the only way to say it. We had our days where we would work together and talk and have a wonderful time and talk about music and everything else. And then we had other times where we would happily have throttled each other. Russell, as my mum will also tell us, Russell was not the easiest person in the world to work with, nor was I. Back in those days, I was a precocious little turd. I think that's the only way to put it. I probably wasn't the easiest person in the world to put up with, or neither to put up with nor to work with. So if any people of my past are watching, I do apologize. Actually, I don't care. I have mellowed over age, thankfully. Age is a grand thing to calm you down again. There have been various occasions in my life where I've fallen flat on my face, both professionally and musically, and of course privately, and that's a wonderful thing to happen. Everyone needs to fall flat on their face and remember there's a whole world of other people out there. It doesn't revolve around you. So anyway, try telling that to the woke generation. Right, anyway, back to the music. Now, some of the first things I learnt were, get ready for it. Now, what was that, I hear you ask? Well, that was something that Russell taught me to do at a very, very early age or early stage in our work together. He taught me to make things up on the spot. In other words, improvise. And we came from the Anglican church tradition. So, you know, there's this, it's called waffling. It's what you do before an evensong service. You sit at the organ, you take the softest stops and you do things. And you do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you pretend you're Herbert Howells and you make some wonderful sounds. Jerry will know exactly what I'm talking about. Jerry loves this kind of stuff as well. Thank you very much, Matthew. And thank you, Philip, on the way past. And thank you, Stefan, on the way past. My goodness. And thank you, Fred Amel, for joining, becoming a channel member. That's very kind of you indeed. Cassie, thank you very much indeed also. Who else do we have? Yeah, there we are. There's a few extras there. Thank you very much indeed. Very generous. Thank you. Ooh. By the way, this is nothing alcoholic. This is just a basic watery drink. Someone was asking. Thank you very much. Vic. Oh, Vic. We haven't seen Vic for a long time. Vic, that's very kind of you. Thank you very much indeed. Actually, a very famous Vic, it's his birthday as well today. Vic Reeves, otherwise known as Jim Moyer, his real name. It's Vic Reeves' birthday today as well, as is Jules Holland. That's a weird coincidence. It's Jules Holland's birthday today as well. He also plays the same kind of music that I do. Not quite the same way that I do. Anyway, but both Vic and Jules are considerably older than I am. They are both, I think 1959 they were both born, I think. A lot older. Anyway. And there are various other people who celebrate their birthday on the 24th of January. Anyway, improvising. And of course, you know, if you come from the world of jazz music, improvising is not a problem. Improvising, he said, looking for a piece of music. Where the hell did it go? I had a piece of music ready for tonight. And it's disappeared. Hold on. It's gone. Where did it go to? Oh, poo. It's been tidied up. All right, I have to find that. There's a piece of music that we had ready for tonight, and it's gone. Oh, well. That will come back at some point. So yes, making things up as we go along. Now, while I was doing all of these organy things, you know, learning about playing organs, learning about registration as well, it's very important. When you learn to play the organ, a pipe organ, this is basically a pipe organ. It's just an electronically, digitally sampled version of an actual pipe organ. This is the real organ. 30 stone, says Joe. 30 stone, that's an awful lot. No, I have no idea what I am in stones. I'm around the 80 to 82 kilogram mark, if that helps. Which is a couple of kilograms too much, but never mind. Right, what we're talking about. Registration. When you learn to play a pipe, or electronic for that matter, organ, you have to learn to know which stops and which combinations to use. And that's something that a lot of people in this day and age don't really know how to do very well themselves. When I moved to Germany 23 years ago, I hang around at the Hochschule für Musik in Cologne for a while. And I say hang around because that's basically all I did. I hung around for a while there, and I was amazed that the students there knew nothing about registration. They knew nothing about registration, and the teachers who were there, with the exception of two of them, who were very good, and they would teach their students to register and, you know, how to use stops properly, but the rest, they just didn't know. The other professors, they were useless, and they didn't teach, you know, the students how to register. So when they played concerts, they would always have some poor sod standing beside them doing all the stop changes for them. And there are some organs in the world where you need assistance to help you pull and push stops and, you know, that kind of thing. That's fine. But on a modern organ, you're going to have buttons like this that help you retrieve combinations of registrations. And I'm sorry, but, you know, that belongs to the organ playing thing. So I was always a great fan of learning about registration. And there's a very clever and simple way to do this. Now, I'm going to let you into the secret tonight. I'm going to keep the microphone on, but I'm going to play along, okay? So, and we're going to start, where shall we start? We'll start here, all right? Now, there are different types of organ pipes. There are big woofy sounding pipes. There are fluty sounding pipes. And And there are different sounding fluty pipes. Yeah, some are rounder, some are brighter, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the trick is to get to know how they all sound and then mix them together. Now here I've mixed together lots of pipes of all of one pitch, okay, and that's how we're going to start off. Let's choose a key, any key. Let's take D flat. Okay, so we're in D flat. We're going to waffle about. We're in 3/4, 3 measures per bar. 3 beats per bar. Okay, so it's a nice big sound that doesn't do very much. Now I'm going to add immediately add to that. Really, oh yes, I'm immediately going to add to that something called the oboe on the swell division. Now the oboe is a reed stop, a different kind of organ stop. Okay, that's the oboe. But when you add it to all the other stops of that same pitch, it sort of adds a bit of fruitiness to the whole thing. Not bad. Now we add stops that sound an octave higher than the original, so to give a bit of brightness. So here we start. I was in D flat, wasn't I? Sorry. Okay, so now we're going to add some bright, so you can hear it's a bit brighter. Now we're going to keep adding those bright stops in the different divisions of the organ, the different manuals, which I've all coupled down to this one. Then we're going to keep going and add the bigger ones. Okay, getting brighter and brighter all the time. I've added a higher stop, an even higher stop here in this division. Now I've added a very bright sounding stop called a mixture. That's 5 ranks of pipes all sounded together. Now I add the brighter stops in the other manuals. Now we need to get a bit beefier now. So what I've added now, we've got this sound on this manual, which is nice. Now I've added the trumpet to this. It's a trumpet, it's a big beefy sounding stuff. Oh yes, now all that. Now at this point we need to sort of really beef things up a bit. So what I've done, I've taken this division, this is the swell division. It's called that for a simple reason, tell you in a moment. And we've added pretty much everything there. Now we get this big, beefy, snarly sound. Now, it's called the swell division because the sound can swell up and swell down. If I close a box, look at this thing here moving, can you see that? Probably not. But with a sort of a pedal here, my right foot is attached to it at the moment, I can close the front of the box in which the pipes are situated, and that muffles the sound. And as I open this box, that gets louder. Listen to this. So all of that coupled to all the bright stuff down here. That already sounds like full organ. Now after that point, you just basically start adding the louder stops until you end up with this. And so on and so on and so on. Now, some of you who are watching will be saying, but what about these other things? You've got a lot of stops there that you haven't switched on. Well, let's face it, you don't need all of the stops, yeah? You don't need them. For example, if I play this and add this thing called the Rohrflöte 4-foot, can you hear a difference? Of course you can't. Now on the real organ, if you were to add every single stop there, you would run out of wind at some point. The organ just wouldn't be able to cope with it. So you know, if you've got lots of loud stops on, you don't need the soft ones, and so on and so on and so on. That's how I learned about registering. Yeah, learn it the sort of the British way. The British way is the only way to do registering on the organ. That's not true. There is a French way as well. And then there's a German way. And then there's an Italian way. And then there's an old French way. There is a Spanish way. The organ world is a magnificent and strange organ world. Vanessa, ich bräuchte dich. Wieso? Wieso? Moment. Okay, now we're going to have to improvise here a little bit, and this is a different kind of improvising, not an organ improvising, a technical improvisation. Vanessa is downstairs keeping an eye on the dog and can't do the other things. Now, over there is my old iMac set up to play media, and various members of the Gartshore Gang have, over the past days, I'm guessing, or maybe even weeks, I don't know, they've been getting together in secret and they've been recording all sorts of things. Now, one of these was, of course, a happy birthday message where they all get together and sing happy birthday. So I'm going to play that to you now. Now I'm going to take you away. You won't be able to see me, but you'll still be able to hear me when I check this out. Is this the right one? Hold on. Is this the right one? Yes. Birthday group, we called this one. Birthday group. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got, I suppose I have to turn the sound on so you can hear this. Actually, hold on, I could do this, couldn't I? I could do this. Hold on, this is much cleverer. Why have wireless technology when you don't use it? So I can take all this stuff over here. There's the mouse, and here's the keyboard. Right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Platz gang. That's Cameron and Kristin Platz, together with, well, basically the entire neighborhood of the Platz gang, who got together not only to sing happy birthday for me, but they got a cake for me. Now, the big problem is, of course, I live in Germany and they live in Maryland, in the United States. That's not going to work. So while they all sat and ate my cake, I was probably sleeping. Ladies and gentlemen, here is then the Platz gang, ready to go with their version of Happy Birthday. Check this out.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Fraser. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Fraser. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Fraser. Happy birthday to you.
Wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that absolutely amazing? Now, there were two special guests there. I didn't mention them at the beginning. I wanted that to be a surprise. We had Nancy Telling, who joined them. Now, Nancy is in the chat always. Nancy is a long-standing member of the Gartshore Gang, and the legend that is Mr. Ron Riley. Ron Riley from Chicago and Baltimore and Maryland and Washington, D.C. television fame. And Ron joined us recently for a Christmas special. He was there for a Christmas special a few weeks ago. Very exciting indeed. So thank you so much, my goodness me, to Cam and Kristen and the rest of the gang there, to Nancy and to Ron for joining in there. That's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much indeed. Now there's more coming from not only Cam, but there's more coming from another group of Gartshore Gang members, which is you know, wonderful. It was a wonderful surprise when I received it earlier. So I feel very privileged that folks, you know, get together and do these things in secret. I love it. Thank you very, very much indeed. You're absolutely wonderful. I really need to, I should say thank you more often, shouldn't I? Yes, I really should. Thank you, folks. You're all absolutely wonderful. Let's have a jazzy piece of music. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. And then we're going to talk about what on earth I did in my early adult life. Get ready for this. This will... yes. I think it's time my mum disappeared, actually. a little song in the key of B flat with a strange modulation in the middle. And yes, you're right. Who said that? Someone said it there. This is a piece I've played it many times. It's an old piece that I made up years and years and years ago. And I played it on, yes, a weird and wonderful organ many years ago when we were messing about. Fun stuff, right. Now, let's go back to our visitors videos. Click. Let's have this one. Oh God, can I even see that from over here? Press that button. Yeah, look at that. That worked magnificently. If you were watching carefully, which I assume you were, during the video of the Platz gang that we just watched, behind Kristin, standing in the corner, was a young guy. A young guy called Andrew Kosinski. And Andrew is a magnificent instrumentalist himself. And Andrew recently received copies of here for things like this, my compositions. And Andrew has been working away at these compositions. And there he is, he's actually here good God, he's actually in the chat as I started speaking. Welcome along, Andrew, there he is. Well, Andrew, this is your part of the evening, because not only did the Platz gang get together to record something, Andrew actually sat at the piano and got a little piece, well, improvised. It sounds very much improvised to me. It sounds wonderful. And Andrew put this together, and I hope you like it. Check this out. Can I do this again without thinking? I think so.
Hey Fraser, Andrew Kosinski and the Platzes here, wishing you a very happy 50th birthday. And as a little present, we'd like to offer you several variations on Happy Birthday. Happy birthday from friends far and near.
Andrew, thank you so much for going over and recording that wonderful, wonderful stuff. And yeah, you have a wonderful technique on the old piano there. Well, you should. You're a very professional player, I know that. And wonderful stuff. And yes, the harmonies, the sort of the subtle Art Tatum harmonies creeping in there. Very, very good indeed. Thank you so much for doing that. That was rather wonderful indeed. Where did you get the inspiration for that? Great stuff indeed. So, big round of applause. Everyone's applauding there. Good for you. Big round of applause from all of us, Andrew. And thank you very, very much indeed. Wasn't that wonderful? Great. Great stuff. Right, ladies and gentlemen, more history. A long time ago. Now, I was born in Inverness in the north of Scotland. 50 years ago, I think Mum will tell us, it was some crazy hour of the morning, wasn't it? I was a very sort of middle of the night baby, wasn't I? Something like 3 or 4 in the morning, something like that. Was that right? I do apologise. Yeah, spent the first 17 years of my life hanging about in Inverness, doing what you do, growing up and, starting out in life. And then, at the age of 17, I received my unconditional offer to go to the University of Edinburgh to study music, which I did, still aged 17. That's far too young to leave home and go and live in the university world. Far too young. And yes, now, moving from Inverness to Edinburgh, it doesn't sound like much, does it? It's only 150 miles away. It's not exactly far, but Edinburgh in the 90s was, of course, a very, very different place. Very dim, sort of gloomy place. And, there was a lot of weird things going on in Edinburgh. Edinburgh in the 90s, it was called the AIDS capital of Europe, for example. I didn't know that at the time. It was a bit of a grim place. Remember the film Train Spotting? Well, that was based in Edinburgh in the 90s. And parts of Edinburgh were actually exactly like that in the film Train Spotting. And some people hanging around were exactly like that. But in the sheltered world of the university, things were very different. And well, let's just say, when I went to university, I didn't just learn about the world of music. I learned about life. And rather quickly found out that my skills at the piano could be used for other purposes. Let's just leave it at that for now. Great fun indeed. Stuart! Stuart, my old friend from university. Stuart is here. Hello, Stuart. Stuart, that was in the 80s. No, it wasn't, Stuart. That was in the 90s. It was all around us all the time. We were hidden from it because we didn't hang around those parts of town. With my old flatmate, James and I went off out in the car one night and decided to go drive around the grotty parts of Edinburgh just to see if it really was that bad. It was. It was. We chickened out and got out at very high speed when we got chased by a gang of, I don't know what they were, zombies, I think. But yeah, it really was like that in those days. So Stuart, yes, maybe you were, well, you're from Glasgow, so come on, I mean, you know what it's all about. You know what it's all about. Anyway, some music, I think. Now, a lot of people have asked me, what are my favorite tunes in the world? Well, let me play you one of my favorite hymn tunes. Now, if I can remember the number, I'll be very good, but I can't remember the number, so I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to look it up. Oh, hello, Vanessa's back. Hello. Hello, that's very kind of you to join us. It's Vanessa, everybody. Oh, don't worry, that's coming. That's coming. That's coming. What's my favorite hymn? A lot of people say, well, this, ladies and gentlemen, is my favorite hymn tune. Now, being an organist, I'm not interested in words. I never was interested in words and lyrics and things like that. I'm only ever interested in melodies and harmonies. And this was one of my favorites of all time. One of my favorite composers of all time as well, Vaughan Williams. Vaughan Williams. We have a family connection to Vaughan Williams, but more on that in another video. that is one of my favourite hymns. Down Ampney is the melody, composed by Ralph, not Rafe, Ralph Vaughan Williams. He hated being called Rafe Vaughan Williams. He loathed it. There was an interview of him on radio where someone said that, and he was Vaughan Williams was he was a heavy drinker, a heavy smoker, and a consumer of South American powdery substances. Yeah, not many people know that about him. He was very much into the good stuff, so I always say. And in some interview, he was absolutely out of it. And someone said, "Oh, Mr. Rafe Vaughan Williams," in some horrendously posh voice. And he very loudly in the background said, "It's Ralph, you," and then said a rather naughty word. Which nobody expected. So anyway, that's one of my favourite tunes. Now, another of my favourite tunes is, of course, by another of my wonderfully, hold on, is it in here? I'm sure, I'm busy saying it is. Yes, there it is. I should have remembered this number. Easy number to, beg your pardon? What do you mean? Oh, sehr gut, okay, danke. If you know about Vaughan Williams, then there's another English composer that you have to talk about, Herbert Howells. Herbert Howells, 1892 to 1983. He was a very old guy when he died. Herbert Howells was one of my piano examiners. That's how old I am. One of my piano examiners for one of my associated board piano exams. It's a grade 2 piano or something stupid like that. But I got to meet the wonderful Herbert Howells. He was very kind, very old. Anyway, I don't remember him. It's not one of my memories that I've managed to save. But he wrote the most amazing melodies. And he wrote this amazing hymn tune. And he wrote it for his son, who sadly died at a very, very young age. His son's name was Michael, so the hymn tune is called Michael. There are various words that fit to it, but again, it's the harmonies that get me. It's got the most amazing harmonies. So let's play around with this one a little longer. My second favorite hymn. wonderful sound. What a wonderful sound. Isn't it amazing? Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. There's something so simple about those harmonies, but at the same time so complicated, if you know what I mean. It sounds so natural, but it's not. It's very cleverly and carefully done. And if you ever come to visit me when I'm playing in my church, are you coming back? Yeah. If you ever come and visit me when I'm playing in my church in Herschbach in Westerwald, there are 2 Herschbachs, I'm not telling you which one. If you come and visit me at the church in Herschbach when I play, that's the way I play hymns. In the German hymn book, you just have the melody, so you can do whatever harmonies you want. And I go to town on the harmonies. I really do. It's a tiny little church, a little sort of village church, but I turn it into an Anglican cathedral every weekend. We have great fun doing it. Now, I was going to show you some pictures, but Vanessa's disappeared again, so hold on a minute. Let me balance the headphones somewhere. Stay. Let me balance those there quickly and go and get the laptop this time. Now, this is the laptop that Vanessa uses to do the direction. We have, it sounds very decadent, isn't it? We've got all this equipment here, but believe it or not, yes, all this equipment does different things. Now. Oh, the stream is miles behind here for some reason. Look at that. Gosh, this is the streaming thing that's doing its things. Okay. Thank you, Joe. She's not leaving me, no, but she's checking up on the dog. All right. Now, what were we doing here? I need to visit this program. Yes, and I need to go here. Ah, yes, and I need to go. Oh, I need to get ready. Now, there are more things to show you this evening, and what I'm going to show you first is I'm going to show you a picture of a birthday cake. Oh, here's Vanessa. You can do the birthday cake then. You can do the birthday cake. Here, have a laptop. Have a laptop. Wir machen Cassis zuerst, okay? Right, now in the chat you know him as Cassie. We know him as something else. We know him as Christoph, but never mind. And Cassie has got, I don't know where he got it from, but I'm guessing it's Photoshop. Please tell me it's Photoshop. You didn't actually do this cake. But here is a wonderful musical birthday cake, which I think is rather beautiful. Click. Check that out. Excuse the coughing, by the way. That's a bit too much from the microphone. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Vanessa says it's Photoshop. Yes, most of it's Photoshop, but the 50 doesn't look like Photoshop, does it? 50 looks real. You have to ask Cassie if that's true or not. But isn't that cute? That looks to me like a Cavaille call organ as well. It's a French organ console with the stops left and right of the organist and the flue stops white and the reed stops red. So somebody made a Cavaille call cake. That's kind of cool. Nancy, that is a challenge to you. Can you make a Cavaille call console cake? Try that. That would be rather wonderful. Now, at the same time, we received a rather interesting picture from another member of the Gartshore Gang who does not like showing her face. Vanessa, bist du bereit? Vanessa is tippy-tapping away in the background. You doing smileys and things. Now, a member of the Gartshore Gang, you know her as Ursa Major. Now, Ursa Major means the Great Bear, which will make sense when you see the picture. This is the Great Bear dressed up as a Great Bear with a birthday message. Click. So, yes, now, I will admit I took the image that Ursa sent us and I put it into Photoshop and brightened it up a bit so that you can actually see that there's a human being inside that bear costume.
Sie hat gesagt, es ist kein Kostüm.
I beg your pardon?
Ich habe zu ihr gesagt, dass du, als du das Bild gesehen hast, zu mir gesagt hast, dass du gerne wissen würdest, wie sie aussieht.
Ja.
Und dann habe ich gesagt, was Männer wieder denken.
Wieso?
Ja.
Du willst auch wissen, wie sie richtig aussieht. Hier, Ursa Major, Vanessa und ich wollen wirklich wissen, wie du wirklich aussiehst.
Hat sie gesagt, es ist kein Kostüm.
Aha. I see. Okay. Yes, apparently Ursa Major does not like showing herself to the public world, which is fair enough. And also the character beside her. What's the story behind that? So thank you very much indeed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see some more of these magnificent people in the next video that I'm going to show you. Hold on, let me get my kit ready again for this. Vanessa, das mache ich jetzt selber. Okay, and yeah, this is amazing. Now, in the chat, you know, if you're a regular to the Gartshore Gang, over the years you will have seen, sorry, I'm reading Robert Varner's comment now, that is kinky. Yes, Robert, that was what Vanessa and I were thinking as well.
Du hast das gesagt. Nicht ich.
Vanessa was thinking all sorts of things in the background.
No.
Anyway, definitely. Anyway, right, so you will know the name Razbaz. You've seen, there he is, Razbaz has just written, perfect. And you see the name Cassie, even in the message from Razbaz, or just above Razbaz there. And we have Ursa Mayer, there they are, all together. Now, they got together secretly and put together a piece of music, and not just the three of them. They got Rodi. Is Rodi with us tonight? Yeah. Rodi, are you here tonight? Rodi, bist du da? Robert, bist du da? If Rodi is there tonight, then he should say hi too. So we've got Razbaz, we've got Cassie, we've got Ursa Mayer, we've got Rodi, and a special guest from across the Atlantic, Dr. Jeremiah Martin. You all know him as Jerry Martin. Jerry Martin joined this secret little gathering, and they got together and recorded a piece of music for this evening's concert. Check it out.
Dear Fraser, happy birthday! To celebrate your special day, some of us have gathered to record a piece for you, to say thank you for the many hours of wonderful music and entertainment. Fraser, you're the best!
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, something happened there. I think someone else was pressing buttons in the background while I was doing things. Let's do that again. I'm very sorry, I do apologize. Can I do this from here? Oh, heavens above us, I can't see. There we are, that's better. Right, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do that again. There was the wrong camera was cut. Let's do that again. So this one, and I do this, and I do this, and I do this. Here we go again. Sorry, Razbaz. Off we go again.
Dear Fraser, happy birthday! To celebrate your special day, some of us have gathered to record a piece for you, to say thank you for the many hours of wonderful music and entertainment. Fraser, you're the best!
How cool was that? Thank you so much, guys and girls, for that wonderful, wonderful, wonderful performance. I was absolutely amazed. It's perfect, absolutely perfect. And of course, the special guest, Jerry, on the theremin, the most amazing instrument out there. Can I give you that, please? Ich glaube schon, ja. Ja. Hallo. Danke. Yeah, the theremin, the most amazing instrument. It looks so simple, doesn't it? It's just Jerry standing there doing this with one hand and doing this with the other hand. It looks so simple, but it's not. I'm guessing it would help if you had Parkinson's. Was that? Oh, sorry, that's a rotten joke, isn't it? But no, it's one of those instruments. It's like Akko Bilk. Remember Akko Bilk, the jazz clarinetist? He said as he got older, his vibrato got easier because his Parkinson's helped. There you are. So jazz musicians can make jokes like that. Wonderful stuff. So what a wonderful group. So thank you, Razbaz. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you, Rodi. Thank you, Urza. And thank you, Jerry, for getting together and performing the wonderful Entertainer. That was the biggest surprise, actually, that you got together to perform the Entertainer. Quite wonderful. And also wonderful to see two Electone organs, two Yamaha organs, just like we started out on all those years ago. My goodness. Wonderful stuff indeed. You guys are absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for doing that. I got a lovely email from Rodi not that long ago. Rodi, who lives down in Munich, down the south of Germany. And Rodi basically got going in the organ world because watching my videos. So thank you, Rodi, for letting me know that. That's quite something to know that something I'm doing out in the world, my bizarre music and my bizarre choices have made you then go and do your thing. Thank you very much. That's amazing. So keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Good fun indeed. Wonderful stuff. How are we doing for time? It's 23:32 here, 11:30 at night. And I still haven't had any birthday cake today, believe it or not.
Ich habe schon gesagt, ich habe einen gebacken, aber der ist nicht vorzeigefähig.
I said, really?
Ja,
Now, I am a man of simple tastes. My mum's going to laugh when she hears that. I'm a man of simple tastes. When it comes to food, anyway, and Vanessa asked me, what do I want on my birthday? Would I like something special to eat on my birthday? Shall we go out for something special to eat, or should we do something at home? And I said, no, I would like to stay at home, and I would like to have homemade burgers. That was it. And we had the most delicious homemade burgers tonight. They were absolutely wonderful. I even got a burger with a pepper crust on it. Oh my God, it was wonderful. Now, there is indeed a cake. I haven't seen the cake yet, but there's a cake made. And also, she asked me, what kind of cake do you want? My favorite cake is a very basic lemon cake. And Vanessa made me a very basic lemon cake, which I haven't seen. And I haven't received a bit of yet. Do I get a bit of birthday cake by the end of the evening?
Ich kann dir jetzt ein Stück holen.
Yeah.
Soll ich ein Stück holen oder soll ich das Ganze holen?
No, you can cut up a little bit and put a candle in it or something. Yeah? Okay, Vanessa's going to go and prepare some cake. Can I have a cup of tea with it as well, please? Ah, wonderful. Tea and cake. Ha, life is so good. Decadence. Decadence indeed. Right, ladies and gentlemen, where were we on the journey through 50 years of life? We made it to university. Oh, by the way, Stuart was talking about university. Now, I started university in 1990 at the age of 17. And Stuart went later. Now, I dropped out of university because I decided that the world of academic music was a waste of time. I was more interested in performing. I wasn't interested in learning all this stuff. I basically learned it all at school, or so I thought. I was very lucky. At school, I had a teacher called Fred Short. He was the wonderful old Cockney guy who moved up to the north of Scotland to teach music and do whatever Fred did. And Fred taught me absolutely everything I know about music. I think I can safely say that. Well, music, the academic side of music. History, harmony, counterpoint, you name it, Fred taught me all about it. I think Mum worked with Fred. Mum worked at the same school that I went to as well. So I think Mum would probably agree that Fred was one of the biggest musical influences, if not the biggest musical influence on my life, actually. And Fred was absolutely wonderful. So when I went off to university, I thought, yep, I know that already. Oh, I know that. Fred taught me that. Fred taught me that, and so on. It went on like that for a long time. So, like I said in my last little anecdote, there were other parts of life that interested me more than academic music. And I went off and enjoyed that for a long time as well. And I sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Better be careful what I say here. I enjoyed my way around the world for a couple of years, let's put it like that. And, but at some point, common sense struck me on the side of the head and said, stop, finish your music degree. You have to, you know, you've started, so you might as well finish, and you do then have an official qualification to your name. So, with a bit of pleading, I went back. Fred was a wonderful person. Yeah, he was. Fred was wonderful. Anyway, with a bit of pleading and some luck, I went back to university and carried on where I left off. That was rather important. They didn't make me go back to the beginning. They could have, but they didn't. So I carried on where I left off. And after a couple of years, I graduated. When did I graduate? 98? I think 98 is when I actually graduated. That's right. And yeah, so once I'd finished my musical degree, I, didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I was working in a church in Edinburgh as a musician, as an organist and choir master. I had a choir at the university that I was running, and an orchestra. Yes, that's right. I had an orchestra as well. And I was playing in various different bands, various different groups. Now, I was playing in different groups all around the country, believe it or not. Some jazzy things, some rock things, some sort of blues things, all sorts of weird and wonderful bands with all sorts of weird and wonderful people. I spent quite a lot of my time, I'm not going to say secretly, because it wasn't that much of a secret, but I was kind of secretly working with some rather well-known musicians in the UK back in those days, and being paid to arrange and write music for them. As it turned out, this was the worst deal in the world, because they kept the rights to all of the stuff that I wrote and just paid me a one-off fee to write it. They then went on to become, multimillionaires living in castles, and, well, I'm here. But I wouldn't have changed it for anything, because then I would never have got to meet all of you, so there you are. Now then, in the year 2000, at the beginning of the year 2000, having spent the last couple of years after my graduation not doing very much, my then partner and I'm going to leave it at that, evil bitch, I'm going to leave it at that, but my then partner and I, we moved to Germany together. And I think it's actually the best thing that happened, musically speaking, because I threw myself in at the deep end and got going with all sorts of music again. I worked for a while as a sort of assistant organist in various churches, including St. Joseph in Bonn, with its wonderfully famous French-style organ. That was pure luck. That was just round the corner from my flat in Bonn, where I lived first, and it was absolutely wonderful. So yeah, and that got me into a very, very interesting world. I was playing lots of jazz music, playing lots of church music, still connected a little bit with the jazzy bluesy stuff, and that took me some rather interesting places. Let's change those registrations again. In fact, let's not change those registrations again. Let's play something slushy. Let's have something romantic for a change. Body and Soul, a wonderful old ballad in the key of D flat major. Ah, my favorite key in the world. And look, a cup of atomic tea. Bloody hell. Ha. When I make myself a cup of tea, it doesn't burn my fingers on the way past. That was, I don't know what it is. My grandmother was good at doing that as well. She had a normal kettle that boiled water to 100 degrees or 99 point whatever, scientifically speaking, that it did. But it was atomically powered tea. It was so hot you couldn't touch the cup. It was unbelievable. Look, ladies and gentlemen, a cake. What am I going to do now? I've got tea and I wanted tea and cake, and now I have tea and cake with candles that say 50 on them. Look at that, a lovely, simple lemon drizzled cake. It smells wonderful. That tea smells good too. Cheers. Oh, I'm not allowed to put this down, am I? Well, actually, hold on. I've got my old bench here, which is still falling to bits. My new organ bench still hasn't arrived. We're waiting for it. Can I give you that, please? We're still waiting for it to arrive. It's being sent from Italy, so that can mean anything. It could turn up anytime this year, anytime this decade. One never knows. So, cheers. Right, lemon drizzle cake, tea, and candles. That's only 2 candles, not 4 candles. And this is a fork handle, if you know what I mean. Anyone who's into the 2 Ronnies there. Am I allowed to blow this out now? All right, let's all together make a wish, everybody. Shall we do that? Ready? I'll count down from 5, and we'll make a wish together. And then let's hope that that wish comes true this year. Wouldn't that be fun? All right, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you are. I'm not going to tell you what my wish was. I'm not going to tell you what my wish was. And there's more what? More candles? Right. A piece of cake then, ladies and gentlemen. This will cause a coughing fit because it's, you know, a bit of a sort of dry, lemony cake. Right. Cheers, everybody. Don't talk with your mouth full, but I'm making yummy noises at the same time. You're making yummy noises. What film was that from? One of my favourite films, one of the best films ever made. You're making yummy noises. What was that from? Who recognises that? Cheers, folks. Cup of tea. Now, I've arrived in Germany, 2000, 23 years ago. And the first few years of being in Germany were rather interesting, shall we say, basically because of the evil person I had in my life at the time. I think evil is the only word. My dad actually, on a visit to Germany, on the way back, on the way to the airport, my dad's closing words were, "If I ever come back to Germany and you are still together with that person, I will kill her." Which I thought was rather wonderful. Not great fans. And the world was a very happy place when that stopped, thank God. And then over the next few years, I sort of did my thing again. And 6 years ago, well, actually 7 years ago, but 6 years ago, this magnificent person here came into my life. And exactly 6 years ago today, to the day, it was actually a Tuesday, look it up. 24th of January 2017 was also a Tuesday. And I was woken up early in the morning, the doorbell ringing, and not stopping to ring, and it was getting annoying. I was still in bed. And then I got a message on my mobile phone saying, "Are you in?" And this was from Vanessa. And I only, at the time, I only knew Vanessa as the lady from the restaurant, the local restaurant where I would regularly go and get something to eat. And this was Vanessa with a birthday present for me. And it was on that day that Vanessa decided that we would be much better off living together than living apart. And on the 15th of March 2017, Vanessa and I officially became a couple. And since then have been absolutely inseparable. We have not spent a night apart since that day. Is that correct?
So mehr oder weniger. An dem Tag waren wir noch nicht.
No?
Zwischen nicht.
Oh, but we decided we would be from that day on. Exactly, yes. Then 2 years later, in 2019, we got married. We got married, and that was a wonderful thing. One of the best things I've done in my life. Actually, of course, the best thing I ever did in my life. I was going to say one of the best things because, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But definitely the best decision Vanessa and I made to get married and spend our lives together. Everybody needs a Vanessa in their life. Without Vanessa, none of this would be possible, believe it or not, because Vanessa's the one behind me with her size 38 foot up my backside all the time, kicking me forwards to say, come on, get on with it, get on with it, get on with it. And I think that's absolutely wonderful, and I love Vanessa to bits, and she really is the most amazing person in the world, but I think you know that because I've said that many times before. And Vanessa is such an amazing part of everybody's life, but I'm very proud and very fortunate to have her as my better half. There you are. Wenn das keine Liebeserklärung war, dann weiß ich auch nicht.
Das ist so romantisch, eine perfekte Vorlage für einen Hollywood-Blockbuster. Schreibt
Wer hat das? Cassie? Ja, sister. Now, back to the music. Occasionally, from time to time, things happen in the musical world that take me by surprise. And this is actually something that came from you, the Gartshore Gang. This is quite something. Absolutely something amazing. And I thought I knew, about all kinds of music. And I thought, a little bit about all kinds of music. I'm very open to everything. And one of the Gartshore Gang, got in touch and sent me some music. And since then, I have been absolutely hooked. Absolutely hooked. And I am, of course, talking about, ta-da, the Brown Book of Magnificence, which was given to us by Gleiswanderer about a year and a half ago now, I suppose. And this tiny little book with 200 and something hymns in it it's just gold. It's amazing. And I've chosen one for tonight, and this is for me to say thank you to Gleiswanderer for introducing me to this music, and also because I get to play it for you, we're all introducing it to you. Now, I've said this many times before. I'm not in any way affiliated with any religious or political group. To be honest, I don't really care, and I do work for the church, and I have done for various years, most of my life, in fact, which is probably why I have the relationship that I do with the church. If you work for a church from the inside, you get to see it from a very different angle. Let's put it like that. Sorry, the cake is staring at me. I have to. But this music is from the Jehovah's Witnesses, and think what you will of the Jehovah's Witnesses around the world, but they have the best music. It's even better than Anglican music. It really is that good. Let's then play one. This is one I chose myself. And this is for me to say thank you to Gleiswanderer for introducing me to this wonderful music. And I think it's a wonderful piece. The title, Gleiswanderer, du wirst wissen, was ich damit meine. The title is Drängt mutig voran, which basically means it's sort of onward Christian soldiers, I suppose, kind of thing. A sort of push forwards bravely, I suppose, is the way you would translate it. And to anyone out there who, wants to get into the world of music, wants to do something, just stop thinking about it. Just do it. Yeah, just do it. I've been a musician all my life, and it took me that young lady there to force me to start doing this. And it's the best decision we ever made. And we have not looked back since. Wonderful. So here we go. Push forwards. Let's do it. Drinkt mutig voran. A wonderful piece of music. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting towards the end of this evening's concert. We like to keep things roughly to 2 hours if we can. Basically, because we end at midnight, and at midnight we all turn into pumpkins. Cheers, cup of tea time. So wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here this evening for my little 50th birthday bash. We had a wonderful time. I hope you had a wonderful time. There was a bit too much chat and not enough music, but it's a birthday party, so I hope you all had something to eat and drink as well. And I hope you had a wonderful time. Now, what do you think of this organ, by the way? Isn't it amazing? It's absolutely amazing. Now, I've since found out I'm allowed to tell you who got me the organ. This is so exciting. And like I said at the beginning, the organ, the sample set was a gift. It was a birthday present. A birthday present from a member of the Gartshore Gang. And it's an incredibly generous gift because, let's face it, these things are not cheap. And this took me very much by surprise, and 1,000 thanks to Alexander for presenting me, or presenting us, the Gartshore Gang, with this amazing sample set of the Sonnenorgel over in Görlitz. So Alexander Wunderlich, you know who you are. Everyone can see you there. So huge thank you, and to Alexander for helping me out with this. This is going to be an amazing sample set, I know. I haven't even gotten to I haven't even skimmed the cream off the top, as it were, not yet. Yeah, we've got a lot to get into here, so I will be spending some time finding out about this instrument and sorting it out and having some fun with it. So yes, thank you, Alexander. You are incredibly generous. Thank you very much. And to all of the other members of the Gartshore Gang, all of you, thank you so much. There have been some people in the background donating gifts, donating very generous gifts to the birthday fund, as it were, and I can only thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Or Vanessa and I thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You are really the most generous people in the world, and some of you sometimes do manage to render us speechless with your generosity, and I only hope that Vanessa and I can go even the shortest way to giving you back something for that generosity, because it really is quite amazing. Thank you very much indeed. And of course to everyone else out there, everyone who is simply given us a thumbs up on the way past this evening. That's the easiest and cheapest way to say thank you, it helps us out. YouTube will recognize that these videos are popular and then recommend them around the world. YouTube is basically a big video recommendation platform. That's all it does. And yeah, the more people that find out about this kind of music, the greater fun we will have, the larger gang we will have, and the more exciting music will become. It's wonderful stuff. So yes, so thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You're all wonderful. Herbert, lieber Herbert, mein lieber Freund Herbert aus Österreich. Dich möchte ich auch ganz gerne einzeln erwähnen. Auch danke dir, auch für deine wirklich tolle, großzügige Spenden und Geschenke. Herbert, du bist ein klasse Typ und ich weiß, du liebst die Hammond-Orgel und bald kommt wieder Hammond-Orgel hier auf den Kanal. Das verspreche ich dir, wirklich. Danke, danke, lieber Herbert. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to have to be it for tonight. So thank you for being in the chat. Thank you for your pictures. Thank you for your video contributions. Thank you for your chat contributions. Thank you for your birthday presents. Very generous indeed from all of you. You're all wonderful. Vanessa and I love you all to bits. Vanessa, we love everybody to bits, don't we?
Yeah.
Yep. You're very talkative tonight, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a dual microphone system now, so that means on Friday she can have her own microphone as well. She's very excited, as you can tell. Ladies and gentlemen, wonderful night. Thank you very much for being part of my 50th birthday. Who'd have ever thought, if someone told me 20 years ago, you're going to spend your 50th birthday doing a YouTube live stream. Well, first of all, I wouldn't have known what YouTube was. Well, let's say 10 years ago. I wouldn't have ever imagined that something like this would have been possible, and that the Gartshore Gang, the extended Gartshore family, would be there to celebrate it with me. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to close up, which means it's time to play. Oops, wrong registrations. which means it's time to play the Bye Bye Blues, which is how we close every concert. Do join us again. I beg your pardon? Oh, we talked all about the new microphone. Yes, yes. And that you've got one as well. Is that right? Yes. On Friday, we will be back with Friday night is Organ Music Night. And Friday night will be another night for all your requests. If you have requests, get them in early. gang@gartshore.de is the email address. Please only send your requests to gang@gartshore.de. There are other email addresses out there for me, but they tend to be more private and they don't get looked at properly in conjunction with these things. So if you have requests for Friday night is Organ Music Night, get them in now and there's a much greater chance of them appearing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. See you Friday.